Welcome everybody to the Bottomtop show. I'm Nadia Dolce, your host.
And I'm Oreo Ajayi, your nicer host.
Excuse me? I'm the nicer host.
What do you mean?
Nadia Dolce.
I'm the gentleman. How about that?
Okay, I'll give you that you're the gentleman, but I'm still the nicest. But let's get on with the show. Today's show is the Bottomtop show, and our concept is all about talented acts and acknowledging great accomplishments by people who deserve to shine.
During the show today, we'll be having great interviews, live performances, and lots of fun games.
Yes, we will. And today we have someone really special, a great talented artist from Montreal.
Yes.
Orio's a little nervous about this one because he's shy, because he has a crush on her.
She is very pretty, can't deny.
She has an unbelievable voice. She is a soul jazz artist that has 15 years of experience in the music industry.
Yes.
So today she's really excited to get heard by our industry professional. Why don't we bring her out? No, before let's play some of her music.
DJ Weezy, why don't you play some of her beats for us? Madame et Messieurs, coming to the stage, we'll give you Léonie Gray. Hi. Wonderful, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi, how are you?
You look so lovely today.
Thank you.
You're quite the fashionista. I like the hat, the boots. You got a whole vibe going.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that.
Perfect, perfect. To get started, just like to get to know a bit more about you. During this introduction that my co-host gave, you were saying something about how you've had so much experience in the music business, and to me you seem so young. So that means you start off at a young age.
No, I'm just very old and I look young.
Ah, okay.
No, basically my dad is a musician. He's a bassist, and he stopped doing tours because my mom got pregnant.
With you?
So with me, and then I started talking very, very young, when I was like 6 months old. So at 1, I started singing.
Oh.
And then in like elementary school, I started doing shows, and I never really stopped. And since my dad was so into music also, I just kept going, and I always wanted to be a singer, so yeah.
Well, you really have that star quality. I could tell you were born to sing. Like I see it. Well, obviously singing at 6 months old, that's pretty impressive. So
I mean, I was not like performing at 6 months old or like a year old.
Well, you already showing off the talent.
I started and I really liked it, so that's why I kept going.
I feel like I watched your videos, I heard your covers, but I don't know Léonie Gray. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit, how would you describe yourself as a person?
As a person according to my music, or just as a person?
As a person.
Let the audience get to know you.
I feel like all artists, I'm very emotional, and music helps me get through the day. And I feel that music is life, you know what I mean? Like I can't wake up in the morning and not spend time listening to music or creating or writing or singing. So I'm a very, I'm like a very social, introverted person. So, but whenever I'm on a stage, for me, it's like my time to shine, my time to tell my stories and talk about me through my songs.
Oreo's a little starstruck. He's so calm. Like
I couldn't stop.
Wake up! She's speaking.
No problem. By the way, you look great. Your fashion sense on point.
Thank you.
While doing my research prior to the interview, I just took a look and I realized you have an album out called The Inner Songs.
Yes.
Just taking a little bit, listening to the song, it's actually a very deep genre of music. What led to that kind of creation? What was behind it? Were you going through something, or pure creativity?
I mean, I started writing this album when I was 16, and you know, I was going through a lot of stuff as a teenager, like in general. I feel like at 16, everything, the whole world is on your case, you know.
Sure.
So I needed to write about it. I had a lot of bad things happening to me also when I was younger, and I had an amazing childhood, but some stuff happened to me, and I needed to let it out. So that's how I wrote the album. But it took like a good 4 years.
Oh wow!
To yeah, and basically the whole album is produced by my dad.
Oh, keep it in the family.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like our, you know,
so
father-daughter.
It's safe to say this work, this music in a song album was sort of your therapy. You said you were going through something.
Oh, literally.
And this helped you produce this.
Yeah. So
Wow,
most of the
wow,
songs
wow,
are
wow.
either stories about myself or stories about people that I care about.
Okay.
And I felt like it was a relief when the album came out. Like it was not a big, you know, like it came out on internet, but it was not anything big. But for me, it was like
it's a big production.
Turning the pages of my book and starting something new. So.
Perfect. Speaking of something new, what can we expect more from you? The Inner Songs album is already out. What is the next project to look forward to?
Okay, so I'm actually finishing an EP right now.
Title?
It's gonna be called LNS Poison.
LNS Poison.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's pretty.
You're like the first to know that, by the way.
Oh, but
We're
we
lucky
just told
people.
everybody. So everybody got a sneak peek into that. That's good.
So LNS Poison is a love story in a few songs. Basically, it explains the whole process of falling in love, and then it's all about toxic relationships and how I got out of it, basically. So that should be coming pretty soon. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you say you're a soul jazz artist, right? What kind of music, like what led to soul jazz? Because we don't hear a lot of original soul jazz. I find today it's kind of making its way a little bit
True.
onto mainstream radio. But what brought you to that? Do you have influences?
For sure. I feel like Amy Winehouse is a very big influence.
We made mention of that earlier.
I told Marion, like, she's so Amy Winehouse. He was like Mariah Carey. I was like, what?
Alright, from the vocals, I would give you Mariah. She said Amy, she knows more. So.
I have a very strong voice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about soul that really talks to me. I would love to do something else maybe, but I feel I always end up doing that kind of music, even though it's electro soul or soul jazz or something different. I feel like it always comes back to soul, so that's why.
So it's safe to say you're a deep person.
Yeah, very. Like I said, I'm super emotional, so that's one.
But I'm sure
big part.
everybody wants to know what you're speaking about when you say you went through a tough time. I don't know if that's something that you're open about or something that comes out just in the music.
It's sometimes it's hard to talk about, sometimes it's not. Like I'm always very shy when people listen to my music in my face, because
okay.
you know, it's like talking about yourself but without talking about yourself. And basically Inner Songs, some songs are about one of my friends passed away from cancer when I was a kid. So I wrote this song called Two Birds in the Sea that talks about, you know, the mourning and the whole process.
I'm getting you all emotional now.
And so this, I wrote a song about sexual abuse also, which sadly happened to me when I was younger. And this one is called All From Me. That is, I think it's the first song on the album.
Okay.
All for me.
All From Me, yeah. But this vibe is very, very different from what I'm working on right now. The songs that I'm doing right now are really more upbeat, still very soul, but more like electro pop soul.
So there's an evolution. There's an evolution to who you are.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
progression. So each album is a step forward in your career.
Exactly. It's like a different chapter in a book.
Perfect.
So
Thank you so much for opening up to us, being so open with everybody.
And you were so jovial about it too. Wow.
Thank you. Well, that's why I write. That's why I sing, because it helps me. You know, I'm like, I'm finished with this. It happened. Now I'm going forward. And
But it
doing
helps
something
you.
more.
It helps others, right? Because you're sending out a message and you're making people feel like they're not alone.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, really amazing.
Thank you.
Where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook, Léonie Gray. You can follow me on Instagram, also Léonie Gray. And I also have a website that is leoniegraymusic.com.
That I know of.
My videos, my shows are on there. So, yeah.
Check her out.
Check her out.
So, are you ready?
Hello, my name is Léonie Gray, and I'm going to sing a song of mine, which is called Clock, and it's a song about mental health. I was stuck in this white tiny room with just a clock. Stuck in this white tiny room with just a clock. Mommy, I swear I didn't wanna bother you. Daddy, I swear I didn't wanna stress you out. So I kept staring at the clock. I was lost in my head, in my heart, and on the bed. Scared I could never find myself. Dear friend, I cried, but you weren't there to hear me out. Dear friend, I tried my very best to scream and shout, but you kept staring at the clock. They say it's okay to lose yourself sometimes. Even though you lost your mind, you will find your way. They say it's okay to lose yourself sometimes. Even though you lost your mind, you will find your way. He was trapped in the woods by himself in the dark, looking at his poor tiny life falling apart. You know I didn't mean to break your heart. My love for you keeps burning like 1,000 stars, but we kept staring at the skies. They say it's okay to lose yourself sometimes. Even though you lost your mind, you will find your way. They say it's okay to lose yourself sometimes. Even though you lost your mind, you will find your way. So kept staring at the clock.
And we're back at the Bottomtop show.
Yes,
what an
yes.
amazing performance. by
Wonderful,
Léonie.
wonderful performance. Very beautiful.
That's all I'm going to be hearing for the next weeks. But right now, we continue to the next portion of the show, which is inviting our industry guest.
Yes, today we are giving to you one of Canadian top producer, songwriter. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kevin Jardine. Welcome.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We're so
you.
privileged to have you here and giving us all this great advice. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about you and how you got into music.
I got into music in the early 90s with my band called Slaves on Dope. It's like a rock metal type band.
Slaves on Dope. That's your name.
Correct. Yep.
Please give it that.
Risque.
So we started in the early 90s, signed a record deal here in Canada. 99 we moved to Los Angeles.
Okay.
We signed a record deal over there with Sharon Osbourne. Did some tours with Ozzy, did a bunch of American tours for a handful of years.
Well experienced.
Went to Europe. Came back home, regrouped in the early 2000s, put out a couple more records, and then after 9/11 and downloading and all that sort of started happening, the music industry started on a little bit of a decline. So we came back home, and that's when I started producing and working with bands and giving them advice and helping them on their careers.
You do a lot. Like, you're a producer, you're a musician, you're managing artists, you're really involved in music. And I think that's really great because we need more people in Canada that are bringing results and great artists and helping. So I think, what do you think you have to offer to artists and producing and songwriting?
It's always about the song, you know. It's always about the hook. It's always about, you know, having something, whether it's in rock, whether it's in metal, whether it's in pop, whether it's in funk. It doesn't matter. It's got to be a great song. You know, but there's also a lot more involved in being an artist. Like once the record's done, I always say that's when the hard work starts.
That's where your job comes in.
Well, I produce the music and I do help, like, you know, like you were mentioning, I do manage a band and I do help on the back end of things. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into bringing a song to the public and getting people to hear it and you know, getting it heard in the right places. It's a lot of work.
So it is.
You feel it's changed in the industry today because obviously we're going through a whole different thing, which is streaming and who's not downloading anymore, who's ripping music, who's like, do we sell albums or not? Like, where do you feel it's still important to put out albums?
It's still important to put out records. It's important, you know, it's almost imperative you have to be a social media manager, you have to have a marketing degree. It's like the sort of the artist thing. It's important, you know, the artist is an artist, but like I said, there's a lot of work that comes after. Especially with social media and especially with all the other things like Spotify playlists and YouTube, and there's so much stuff that's involved now.
The creativity aspect of it.
Yeah, that used to not be there. Like, you know, it used to be just you made a record, you put it out, you went on the road, and you know, people heard it. But now it's like it's a huge ocean of music that everybody has access to the same promotional tools, right? So you have to find a way to stand out.
Would you say the change in music, how it became all about streaming now and people are less buying records, would you say it's harder on the new generation or it's easier back then? Your perspective, you're very well experienced.
It's neither easier nor harder. It's different. You know, back when we used to make records, it was, you know, upwards to $100,000 to make a record in a studio. So now you can make records for much, much less, but your money more goes into the promotion side of things, where you need people to hear it, because like I said, you need to stand out on these other platforms. So you need to find a way to get heard amongst all these other artists. So it's easier because it's easier to make records. It's a lot less expensive to make videos, but it's more difficult to get seen because everybody has that benefit of inexpensive records and videos. It's just different. I wouldn't wish one or the other on any artist because it's not easy either way. But if you have the right talent, and you have the right look, and you have the right people, the right team, you know, you'll get hurt. Exactly.
Okay.
What do you think about Canadian talent, like today? What's going on? Do you feel like we're up to par? Are we behind? Or are you meeting very talented artists that you want to work with?
I think Canada's always been at the forefront of talent, especially with singers. Like, you know, you look at, you know, back in the day with the Guess Who and the guys like Bryan Adams and Celine Dion, and there's always, you know, Bieber and Alanis Morissette before him. There's always been phenomenal Canadian singers. Bands, it's another thing. You know, we got Nickelback, which is, you know,
the only one we have. I love Nickelback, by the way. I love them.
They do great music. I love you, Nickelback. Honestly.
But there's not many, you know, bands that have broken it open since then in Canada. Not many before that. But there's a lot of talent. I think it's just different. Like, if you get played on the radio in Canada and you get some success, a lot of bands just stay here. They don't venture out. They might go to Europe. They don't venture out and really try to break into the American market. They get comfortable in Canada, which is fine. You know, but we have lots of talent. We have phenomenal amounts of talent in Canada.
Would you say it's a bit harder to be in a band or to be a solo artist? Which yields more profit?
You know, as a band, you can lean on the other members for support, right? Yes. And you know, you're splitting the bills 4 ways and whatever. But as a solo artist, you know, you don't usually argue with anybody. So
it's your creativity.
It's your own show, right? You write the songs, you go to the studio, you hire the musicians to do what you need to do. But it's you see the product from beginning to end. With a band, it's a lot more weaving and navigating through. It's like being in a relationship with 4 people. It's not easy.
You gotta go through 4 people to see if it's good enough.
Exactly.
I understand.
I'm really curious to hear what you have to say to Léonie, because in my opinion, she's very talented.
I can't wait to hear.
So yes, you've worked with a great Grammy Award, Juno Award winning artists, and you've actually had a chance to be close to them. What would you say it takes to get on that level?
A lot of hard work, determination. You have to have a good team. You gotta have great songs, the look. Yeah, it's the full package, you know. And even then, it's a crapshoot. But you know, when you're a musician, you're passionate about it, and you want to get your music out there. So you do what it takes, and you go to no lengths to achieve it, right? It's a lot of work, though.
gonna work.
You keep mentioning the look. You really feel like the look, it really prevails over a lot of things? Do you think it's a matter of people seeing your look like your personality, or?
Yeah, because you're expressing, people when they, it's like you don't judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, people judge each other by the way they look, and especially as an artist, if you want to, people to get a feeling for who you are by just seeing you, it is important.
It is important.
It's not the MTV generation, but it's still important. People want to see what you sort of might sound like by the way you're dressed. And
you sound like you know what you're talking about. Like
It
you're a
really
strong
does.
personality, and we have a great guest industry professional today.
Very happy.
And we want to hear what you have to say to Léonie, because she's going to be coming here very soon.
So please stay tuned. We're gonna have Léonie Gray join us on set as she gets advice from Kevin Jardine. Welcome back from the break. Léonie, thank you again.
Thanks to you.
Great performance. Thank you, Kevin Jardine, for being here with us today and giving us your expertise. So the time has come to tell Léonie what kind of advice you have for her, and what were your thoughts on her as an artist and what you heard.
I really like the song. Song's very good.
Thank you.
There's some stuff that I think you could probably benefit from. Probably strengthen up the hook and the verse a little bit. It seems to sort of doesn't really go where it needs to go. The chorus is strong. I liked your lyrics. Your lyrics are very good. They're very introspective. I feel that you really get the essence of what you're trying to say, the way you deliver your lyrics. I'd like to hear a little bit more vocal production. I'd like to hear more harmonies. I'm a big fan of harmonies. I think especially the kind of music that you're doing, have some thirds and some fifths, and just really build the chorus, have it have more impact, so when it comes in, it really gets the listener's attention. I'd also like to hear a little bit more some organic instruments. There seems that from what I get a feeling, it's very sort of in the box type production. I like to hear maybe some real piano, maybe some acoustic guitar, just to give it more of a real feel, so it doesn't feel too, like I said, in the boxy, but just too electro-y. I think your voice would benefit a lot from having some real musicians to play, and the interaction between your voice and what you're singing and real musicians. I think it'll make a big difference in the quality of song you get and your vision and stuff.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Your advice is A1. It's $1 million.
Yours. So he's all about the song. And what do you think about Léonie as an artist? We spoke about the look.
I love her
I
look.
think she has a strong look.
Love her
I think
look.
she looks fabulous.
You already know what I think.
Look is very look is very important. It is very important, and I think you have that. I think as you develop as an artist, your look's going to grow. But I think you have a very good image, and I think that's very important, because and it suits the kind of music that you do as well, which again is very important. And you got the songs, and like I said before, that's where all the hard work. Now it's when it starts, is after the fact.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, you got some great tips. So I'm sure you're going to take all of this with you on the rest of your musical journey.
For sure.
Great. So where could we find you your next shows?
Well, right now I'm performing every Sunday nights at Honey Martin's Pub, which is in NDG in Montreal. Okay. So it starts at 9:30 till 1. So you can come have fun with us.
And for you, Kevin, what next can we expect from you? What great projects is upcoming?
I have a song with DMC coming out very soon. So we'll be looking for that. It'll be on vinyl, so it's pretty sweet.
Nice, nice, nice.
I love vinyls.
Once again, from the Bottomtop Show, I want to give a big thank you to everyone. Thank you, Léonie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to all our sponsors.
And our great audience. Yet again, it's the Bottomtop Show.